Welcome back to a new episode of Following Soul. So today we are going to go deeper into the mindset of becoming struggle-free. Last week we had a really authentic conversation in regards to where I've been lately and in regards to how I catch myself now, how I create more space for me and get myself into a new spiral. We were talking about becoming more positive. Anyhow, so today I felt that I wanted to talk a little bit about one thing in the struggle-free mindset, or how to get into a ease mode, is in regards to how we talk about ourselves and what type of language we use. So this is a fun one as well. I use a lot of activated talk. You maybe have heard about me talking about that before, but having an activated talk and honestly, continuously thinking through how I talk about things, how I explain things, what words I use, and so forth, is truly activating. It's truly helping for your vibe, and it's transforming. It's really transforming. So different type of words have different type of tones. I will not go into any type of nerdiness about that today, but it's important for us to understand that how we speak about ourselves and the world does make a huge difference. So last week I explained to you that I've been on an override mode, and during that override mode I realized that I felt vulnerable. And that reminded me of the moment where I understood the difference between vulnerability and authenticity, and how I see and hear people using the words almost as they are equal, almost as they are the same, and they aren't actually. There is a huge space for us, especially in our healing journey, when we start to talk a lot about vulnerability and open up and creating space for ourselves, and that we are being vulnerable and we are feeling vulnerable. Though that is a beautiful space to be in when we are healing through something, it's also a way for us to say that we actually are not truly authentic in it yet. But vulnerability is a beautiful bridge towards authenticity, according to me. So if you're Swede, I know that sometimes for some Swedes, some words are a little bit oh, how do we explain that? If you're Swede, vulnerability is sårbarhet, and authenticity, autenticitet, eller verklig, eller riktig liksom. So since I've been becoming so aware about those two differences, I noticed today when I say that I'm vulnerable, I'm seeing that I have a beautiful space to grow. Because when I'm saying I am vulnerable, I'm not yet feeling safe, fully safe, to be in my authentic self. Because if it would be something that I would be feeling that this is me, this is truly who I am, and I stand for it, I believe in it, I don't feel that I'm threatened in any certain type of way, I don't feel that I'm unsafe, I don't feel any certain type of insecurity, I wouldn't mention that that would have been a vulnerability. To be honest, to be open, to be true, to be me. I wouldn't. Instead, I would have said yeah, this is authentic to me. Feels real to me. You see the difference? So whenever we use the word vulnerability, that is a beautiful opportunity for you to tap into yourself and ask yourself, is there some here where I still have space to grow into authenticity? Space to grow into the true me and the core essence of me. So we can start to ask ourselves that question whenever we feel and whenever we say ourselves that I'm vulnerable. We can actually start to say that, okay, where is it that I don't feel safe? Where is it that I don't feel secure enough, or where I feel that I have trust enough, or, all of that kind of insecurity, uncertainty, unsafety, all of those kind of emotions and perceptions of our life and our reality is actually being present when we're talking about being vulnerable. So an example, in order for you to get some certain type of perspective here, is that when I first started to realize, or like actually not realize, maybe allowing myself and also opening up to myself that I'm a highly empathic and sensitive, energy sensitive, and open person to energies, so to say. I always said that was vulnerable. I always said that I'm so sensitive in this, and oh, I can't be on these places and these spaces because I'm so sensitive and I feel so much energies and it's so much, and it was really hard for me. And till this day, of course, I end up in situations where I feel that now I took in too much of the energies. Now I feel like I need to recharge my energies again. That happens. Yes, it does. But it doesn't happen in the same way. I'm more aware of it, and I actually have created a space, or like a certain vibe, that I'm not being touched about a lot of the different things that I before felt touched by, of the things that I felt that this is really like, I feel vulnerable here, so to say. So then I remember I was like starting to say like this, like, yeah, I'm a little bit vulnerable. This is my vulnerability. This is who I am. Like, it's just like me, it's okay for me to be vulnerable in this. Like, I gave myself all these explanations too, and I gave myself all these reasons to why it was like totally okay for me to be and feel vulnerable in this. And it is totally okay. It is really, but it's maybe not the optimal, like ultimate kind of way we want to look at life, or optimal space we want to be in, because we will still always feel at some point that we can be touched, that we can be controlled, or that we can be in one way or another like damaged or hurt, or you understand what I mean. So nowadays, instead, I usually use the words of that, you know what, I feel energies a lot. I'm energy sensitive and I'm empowered in it, because that is how I am also. Like, we should never like lie to ourselves. That doesn't work. It doesn't work. Like, your subconscious will pick up on that directly and scream back. So we have to deal with it first, right? We have to unlayer, always unlayer. But when we come to that point of that, really tuning in and feeling that, okay, I'm not feeling like I can be touched in that way any longer. I am actually feeling that this is just who I am, and nothing is like, there's no separation, nothing is wrong with it, nothing is threatened with it. Then we are starting to talk about authenticity. So vulnerability, once again, a beautiful bridge to understand that now I'm walking towards my authenticity, and here's a space and opportunity for me to grow into that authenticity. But vulnerability should never be a way that we say that I'm just being me, I'm just being vulnerable, because that in the end is, according to me at least, a way of still operating in a survival mode. And I know that this can be a little bit like unpopular opinion. I know that some people might be a little bit annoyed, frustrated, maybe not understand what I say about this. But I think it's beautiful for us to also have different perspectives, so we can bring in something to the table, and we all can take what resonates, right? We all can take what works for us. And it's also important for us to understand that it's not about shame one or the other, or shame ourselves also, because that is ultimately usually what we do as well, I notice a lot. So it's not about, saying that we are not doing things in the right way, or that we should stop saying certain type of things. It's more about like, does this resonate for me, and does it truly ultimately feel good to me, and what is it signaling? This is in regards to when we have this activated language and start to really feel into like, what type of words do I use, and what does that signal to me and to my body? Every time when I'm being vulnerable, jag är sårbar. It doesn't feel good to me, actually. It doesn't. For me, it feels like I have a wound. I have a wound right now, okay? So I'm not whole. I'm not fully, like, what? So for me, today, no, that word doesn't resonate. But it resonates those moments when I actually feel that I have a wound, where I actually feel in the moment that I feel vulnerable. And as I said, like 2 weeks ago, like during these 2 weeks when I've had a heavier time for myself, I realized that, wow, right now I actually feel vulnerable. And I was so happy that I have the awareness that I have today. So I was like, wow, that's so great. Great. So why do I feel vulnerable? This is not the place to be. This is my guidance to understand where is it that I feel in one way not safe, and how can I create this safety for myself so I feel that I can be truly me instead. This is like a practice for you this week, or something that you can bring with you as a prompt for yourself, as is there, what type of words is it that I'm using, and can I find one word which I use that maybe isn't serving me that much? It maybe served me from before, it's okay, I can release that, but is it serving me nowadays? Is there any type of word I use where I feel disempowered, where I don't feel safe, or where I feel in one way or another I'm being vulnerable, or I feel in one way or another threatened, or whatever it is, right? And can I see that word? Can I see that vibration in that word and understand that, okay, here I have an opportunity to grow, and what is the kind of vibration and the vibrational representative word that I can use instead that will help me to move through what's this one. It's like, when we're talking about these kind of embodiment practices, it has become so popular to talk about like embodying your higher self and your true self and all of that. And we will have discussions about that as well, because I do use those practices as well, but I use it a little bit differently than I hear most talk about. And I do also have two different perspectives in regards to that practice, but that is another discussion anyhow. So when we use this kind of embodiment practices, if you heard about that, we are tapping into the higher version or the future version of ourselves, and saying like, what does he or she does, how is he or she live right now, and so forth. It's a little bit similar practice here, where you say that, okay, this is the vibration, the version of me now with this word, and what is the vibrational word, what is the vibration of me, the version of me that I want to step into, and what is that type of word. So play around with it, have fun with it, find different type of words where you're feeling intrigued to change in one way or another, right? And see how that shifts your energy, and see how that shifts your vibration, and see how that makes you feel in another certain type of way, and how does that make you feel. Be curious. Always be curious when it comes to your internal growth and expansion. So, okay, thank you so much for today, for tuning in. I hope to see you next time. If you are interested in knowing more about me, you can find the links below to my offerings and also to my Instagram. My Instagram is kind of the point of contact, I would say. I love to get DMs and people reaching out to me. I think that is so fun, and that is kind of the way I like to use Instagram for as well. So if you are not like Instagram me and like to follow different type of pictures and stuff like that, like I'm totally with you. I'm totally with you. This is more so a portal for me to easy access of information in regards to if I have new workshops putting up or whatever it is. And sometimes I do like what I feel for, like spontaneously, but it's also a beautiful space where we easily can have a conversation with each other in the DMs, and I love to have that. So just reach out to me if you have questions, or if you want to discuss something in regards to my coaching, you have some questions maybe, or if you're interested in my tarot card readings. Yeah, just go ahead and have a beautiful look at all that I can offer. Have a wonderful week. Keep on listening to your Within Talks. Bye.